My name is Jordan Smith, and I am a senior at Rio Linda High School, and it is a true honor to kick off the State of the City. I don't know about you, but I'm proud to be part of a city that is committed to investing in youth and giving young people like me a real voice. In fact, the mayor gave me the microphone this morning to speak in front of an auditorium full of people. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm here today representing one of the mayor's key efforts, the 1,000 Strong Youth Workforce Initiative. As a participant in the first year of this effort, I went through 40 hours of intensive pre-employment training. The training touched on everything from how to prepare for an interview to the importance of workplace skills such as teamwork, communication, and critical thinking. I'm currently an intern at the Metro Chamber Foundation. In this role, I'm hard at work learning new skills, gaining confidence, and making new connections each day. Because of 1,000 Strong, I am gaining amazing career experiences most high school students my age don't have access to, but should. Because of 1,000 Strong, Sacramento is setting a new standard for how to grow a talented workforce. Because of 1,000 Strong, we are uplifting our neighborhoods and providing incredible opportunities to the future leaders of this city. I'm proud to say that I've applied to 8 schools, and I know I want to stay local. I've already been accepted into Sac State, but I'm just waiting on that one school. Thank you. I'm just waiting on that one school, UC Davis. Chancellor May, I'm waiting for your call. So thank you to our mayor and city for making youth a priority. Thank you to our community groups and businesses who have stepped up and provided real-world work experiences. And thank you to all of you in here who are making a positive impact on Sacramento's future. At this time, we would like to honor one person who has made notable civic and community contributions within Sacramento City and the region. To present the annual Mort Friedman Civic Leadership Award, please welcome to the stage Marcy Friedman, Mark Friedman, and Mayor Darrell Steinberg. Thank you.
Great job. Good morning and hello to everyone and welcome. Thank you, Jordan. You did a wonderful job. I could not have said it better myself. Let's give Jordan a big round of applause, please. In January of 2016, the City Council passed a resolution to present the Mort Friedman Civic Leadership Award in conjunction with the Mayor's annual State of the City event. This is my first opportunity to take part in this award that celebrates the life and the contributions of my friend, our friend, Sacramento's friend, the late Mort Friedman. And I couldn't be prouder than to be joined by Mort's wife, Marcy, and his son, Mark, who have continued in every way Mort's tradition of charity, of giving, and of community building. Their work, the Friedman family work, has helped transform our region. And this award builds on their great example. And so there are many people, of course, deserving of this award. But one person today stands out as someone who, for years, has consistently and continues to give back to Sacramento. It is our honor to present this year's award to a dear friend and community leader who always gives her time, her money, and her heart to the community that she loves. And as I said, she has done so for decades. She's someone who uplifts and champions women through her work and actions. She is the leader who is at the forefront of every major community challenge and opportunity. And she's the person who, for me and for so many, is the first person you call when you want to get something done. She doesn't know it yet, but she's about to. Tina Thomas, we're talking about you. Tina is a bit speechless because it was a true surprise. Marcy, you want to say a word, just a word or two? Go ahead. Oh, we need a mic. Here we go. Here we go.
Thank you. My dad loved Sacramento, and he thought that it was incredibly important to give back to the community that had given him so much. And I can't think of anybody who's more deserving of this award than Tina. Her work is influential. Her advice is deeply valuable. And what she does is done not for credit, but to make this community better. Tina, you deserve credit. Congratulations.
Tina, I know if Mort were here, he wouldn't be able to be more thrilled because he admired your intelligence, your integrity, and your great skill in negotiating and dealing with people. So, it's well deserved.
Thank you so much.
Go ahead.
I just want to say thank you so much, and it was just a huge surprise, and I loved Mort Friedman, so to receive this award means so much to me, and I love Sacramento. It's so important to me, and as Greta Gerwig said, it gives you roots and wings, and it's true.
All right.
Some flowers, and we'd like to present Tina as well with a key to the city. Ooh. It opens every door. Here we go.
Okay, kick ass today.
Thank you.
We've done a lot together this past year, and it was a big year of transitions for all of us across the city. Together, we have cultivated a healthy appetite for innovation and a deep passion for the diverse cultural fabric our food, art, and neighborhoods inspire. Whether we're bringing music to the streets, dreams to reality, farms to every fork, or defining what it truly means to be a center of unity, we are engaged in these beautiful moments together and are weaving a Sacramento story as unique as each of us into history. We're creating new spaces, preserving beloved areas, and bringing fresh ideas forward to support our neighborhoods from the ground up. We're bringing economic opportunity to the forefront of every discussion and finding ways to invest in each of our neighborhoods. Sometimes it means finding new ways for people to get out, get active, and get around. Sometimes it's closing disparity gaps through access to technology. And sometimes it means writing our own narrative to create the opportunities we want to cultivate and grow. Opportunities for our families and youth whose big dreams and ambitions should be taken seriously. Kids who deserve a willing village of support that invests in all of our youth. So the story of a neighborhood kid growing up to be a respected citywide leader can be one that's shared across neighborhoods and generations. Support that builds engagement and trust between our community and the public servants who tirelessly protect our growing city, creating the safe haven for our values and quality of life to thrive. Together, we are engaging issues that have persisted for generations, and we are making real progress through the tension with learning, openness to change, healing, and forgiveness. It takes compassion and the fierce urgency of now to surmount the obstacles in our Sacramento story. So we're building incredible teams, pulling in never-before-seen resources, listening to one another, and delivering services and solutions to where they're needed most. We're working together and fostering a deeper sense of community through engagement. It's what makes our city work and helps us build trust in one another. It's why we're removing barriers, sharing more information, increasing transparency, and being fiscally responsible and responsive. We're stronger embracing our diversity, and we're stronger united by our common sense of pride. Together, we're embracing and supporting our neighborhoods where they are to get them where they need to go, because each part of our city is unique and deserves celebration. We're creating Sacramento's moment right now, a moment in history where Sacramento didn't wait for things to happen. We seized our own destiny. No more excuses, no more waiting. We're doing it together. And now, please welcome our mayor, Darrell Steinberg.
Hi, guys. Thank you, my colleagues. Thank you. Wow, thank you very much. Was that video great? I don't think I need to give a speech. That video says it all. What a wonderful honor to be here this morning. Members of the City Council, my colleagues, honored guests, community leaders, and all those who love, live, and believe in Sacramento. For the first time, I have the unrivaled privilege of officially reporting on the state of our city. The former mayors in attendance today know this feeling, and I want to thank them for being here. Heather Fargo and Phil Eisenberg, please give them a big hand. And to that end, I offer this telling statistic. During all the terms of all my predecessors combined, the combined number of Golden Globes awarded to movies celebrating the greatness of Sacramento, 0. Ladies and gentlemen, the Steinberg administration is proud to have increased that output by 200%. Thank you. We're moving. In all seriousness, our friend Greta Gerwig is shining a spotlight on Sacramento as a unique intersection of humanity, diversity, and creativity. Congratulations, Greta. We will soon find a way to celebrate your great achievements. And we also have another special Sacramento movie to look forward to. The one that is based on the courageous actions and the compassionate spirit of some of our very own young men, hometown heroes, Anthony Sadler, Spencer Stone, and Alex Skarlatos. Can't wait for that movie to come out as well. Sacramento's star turn is coming at an auspicious time, because today's Sacramento is not only the toast of Hollywood. We are a perpetual motion machine of opportunity, a shining beacon of inclusion, and a city gaining notice far and wide. I want to begin by recognizing my partners in our progress. First and foremost, my amazing wife, Julie Steinberg. There she is. Please give her a big hand. Thank you. We all say couldn't do it without you. Couldn't do it without you. It's absolutely true. And my colleagues, for I do nothing alone. And anything that I have gotten any credit for is a product of an incredible team. My colleagues sitting before me today, Councilmembers Angelique Ashby from District 1. Give her a hand. Councilmember Alan Warren, District 2. Councilmember Jeff Harris from District 3. Councilmember, now Vice Mayor Steve Hansen from District 4. Councilmember Jay Chenier from District 5. New dad, Councilmember Eric Guetta from District 6. Councilmember Rick Jennings from District 7. And Councilmember Larry Carr from District 8. In their wisdom, Sacramento voters have blessed us with a terrific city council. All are accomplished and dedicated public servants. Our teamwork makes our town work. I also want to thank our hardworking city staff, starting with my own incredible team in the mayor's office. And of course, our city manager, Howard Chan. Give him a hand. He's doing a great job. Our charter officers, our department heads, and the entire city workforce deserve our thanks and our gratitude. I appreciate each of you who follow your heart into service, especially when it calls you back home. Like our new police chief, Sacramento's own Daniel Hahn. Give him a hand. More than any time in our history, the city is reaching outward and forging new partnerships with the county, the state, our federal representatives, and our public educators at all levels. And I want to acknowledge those leaders at every level of governance. And I want to welcome Chancellor May, who I saw earlier. Thank you for coming, Chancellor May, this morning, new Chancellor at UC Davis. And I want to acknowledge and thank our community-based organizations that continually step up time and time again. But most of all, I want to celebrate the mosaic of diversity, which has always been our great strength. The everyday community leaders who contribute their lives to Sacramento's upward momentum, not for glory or for riches or for self-aggrandizement, but because they know we are all better off when we are all better off. From Lauren and Rochelle Ditmore, who tirelessly give hope to kids in Oak Park, to Nikki Mohana, 27 years old and creating a unique affordable housing model in Midtown, to Mervyn Brookins, organizing more sports programs for youth in North Sacramento than I can keep up with, to Ernesto Delgado, fighting to succeed and build a restaurant in the heart of Chavez Plaza, to Yvonne Walker, Fabrizio Sasso, and others who daily fight for working men and women in both the public and private sector. Sacramentans understand that you don't have to be something to do something. You don't need a title or an honorific. You just need to be the change you want to see. More than ever, Sacramento is a city committed to giving every person, no matter how they look, what language they speak, or who they choose to love, a pathward to upward mobility and an affordable quality of life. It's simple. A safe place to go to school, to get a job, to raise a family, and to give back to the world. Government must be a partner, a good faith partner in that promise. My colleagues and I are listening, and we are responding, which is why our first order of business has been elevating transparency, accountability, and public confidence in city leadership. This week's finding that the city workforce still has too large a wage gap for women and people of color shows that we are not afraid to admit where we must improve. We are not perfect, but your city hall is changing for the better. Between elected officials and the people we represent, between our frontline police officers and the communities they protect, between employers and the women who work in and around our city and deserve a place to work free of fear, harassment, or retaliation. Sacramento stands with every voice of valor who overcomes abuse and says, "Me too." And I pledge to you, our city will lead by example. Of course, these are times of great tumult in American politics, but we have sent an unmistakable message from this capital city all the way to our nation's capital, that Sacramento now and always is unbowed and unafraid to fight for its people and its principles. We don't build walls to keep people out. We paint walls to bring people in. And we don't care how many so-called stable geniuses want to tell us who does or does not belong in Sacramento. We are a proud sanctuary city. We believe the American dream includes all dreamers. Today's Sacramento is a community where birth does not have to be destiny, where we daily declare our interdependence, and where everyone can find their calling and be exactly who they want to be. This is our value statement. It has defined our past, it marks our present, and it will chart our future. In our first year together, we set highly ambitious goals, and in many areas far exceeded them. From DOCO to $108 million in new resources to combat the growing crisis of homelessness. From leading the country with Electrify America and 5G to the Urban Hives expansion. From the creative economy pilots to wide open walls. From the city's most ambitious youth workforce program, 1,000 Strong, to a new youth department, to a school district of dedicated teachers focused on educating our school children, uninterrupted by labor conflict. From the very real probability of Centene, a Fortune 100 healthcare company establishing its West Coast regional campus in North Natomas. Thank you, Councilmember Ashby. To the neighborhood initiatives being led in every district by my colleagues on the City Council. Every day, it feels like an inspiring new initiative gets launched in our city and in our region. For that's the new normal in the new Sacramento, and it's time to celebrate. I love the fact that a big part of the job of mayor is cheerleader-in-chief, and I do a lot of practicing there. It's really an easy part of the job because I love the city and I love our people who have given me and my family so much for the 34 years that we have lived here. But as your mayor, I also feel the obligation to lead serious community conversations about what it will take to do even more and to make even more progress on our most difficult challenges. For it is one thing to be congratulatory, it's another to be complacent. And when it comes to the people and the potential of Sacramento, good enough just isn't good enough. For as fast as we are growing, and as far as we are reaching, there are some hard truths that we must face squarely. Today, you heard the news, Amazon announced its finalists for the second corporate headquarters. Los Angeles was the only California city that made it. Congratulations to Los Angeles. We were always the dark horse in this race, and who knows why they chose the cities that they chose. They couldn't have waited another day after my speech before making the announcement? Just saying. The truth is, it makes what I'm about to say even more relevant and important. For in Sacramento, as much as we celebrate, an unacceptable number of our families are not yet participating in the economic recovery. In some of our communities, the income and opportunity gaps are widening. From 2000 to 2012, lower-income neighborhoods in Sacramento lost more than 14% of their jobs, more than 2 times the national average. Over 20% of our city's population lives below the poverty line compared to the national average of just below 15%. We are behind major western U.S. metro areas in annual job growth, with only 1.8% from 2010 to 2017, and a youth unemployment rate of 16.5%, ranking us 46th among the top 50 metropolitan regions in the country. And while Sacramento has been identified as a low-cost area to live compared to other counties across the state, we all know we have a real housing affordability crisis. that is hurting our families, young people, artists, working adults, and of course, the homeless. It will take a comprehensive approach to solve this problem. We know we must dramatically increase supply. We must foster high-wage job opportunities so that people can afford to live here. We must be committed to siting affordable housing in all areas of the city with a more nimble planning process. And to any property owners, vast majority are good, but to any property owners who are unfairly taking advantage of a tight rental market in a way that can only be described as gouging, it must stop. And we must train up the skilled labor needed to build the housing. For almost 18% of our population does not have a high school diploma. And while we are anchored by 3 excellent public universities and a terrific community college system, only 23% of our 25 to 34-year-olds have a 4-year college degree, a critical indicator of our region's workforce and future prosperity. And too many graduates move out of our region to pursue their careers elsewhere. For there are not yet enough high-wage job opportunities for our kids to make Sacramento their home. A very good city creates more for all of its people: art, culture, sports, civic amenities, destination attractions for its people and its tourists. A great city connects all of that to its neighborhoods and to the kids from those neighborhoods so that they are the ones creating, they are the ones building, and they are the ones benefiting from that growth. This is what I truly believe. It's about kids. That's why pathways are so important to me, why Thousand Strong and building up our infrastructure around youth workforce development to create real supports and opportunities for young people, with a commitment to using our upward growth to change generational poverty. That's our mission. We confront in Sacramento another current reality. On the public side, we have a limited ability to partner with the private sector to grow our Sacramento economy. We are a capital city with capital ambitions, but we consistently lack the financial capital, both the public resources and the private sector wealth, to achieve those ambitions. Austin and Denver each have over 60 full-time economic development employees. We have 11. We do more than most big cities to squeeze every ounce of output from available resources. We have combined creativity and generosity to punch well above our weight. We are resilient and resourceful, but it should not always be so hard. In our city, the lack of public and private investment in economic and job growth is the common denominator. Money is not everything, but it determines our capacity to create and take advantage of more opportunities. We are always having to compromise with ourselves, pull the rabbit out of the hat, choose one project and forego or delay another. It's a constant exercise in our city. There is nothing wrong with scrambling with creativity, but when you always have to scramble to make something good happen, your upward ceiling is limited. Or there are real limits on how many times we can realistically slice the same pie. Let me provide some current examples. We have every tool to end homelessness in Sacramento now but one. Even with $108 million for intensive outreach and services, we currently don't have ongoing resources to provide more temporary triage shelter, much less permanently house the thousands of people we must bring in from the elements. Why not strive for at least 1,000 new efficient small housing units over the next 2 years? It will take significant capital. Sutter has committed $5 million, And our other healthcare systems have stepped up with whole person care as well, and I want to thank them, in addition to Sutter, Kaiser, and Dignity and the UC Davis Med Center. Sutter's put forward $5 million for housing. We need others to step up. We will get it done, but it shouldn't take a fundraising campaign to meet the most basic needs of our most vulnerable population. There are many opportunities and key questions just like this before our community. If we use most of our hotel tax bond capacity to expand the convention center and rebuild the community center theater and memorial auditorium, can we squeeze just a little bit more out of the same fund to get started on making the riverfront the destination we all want it to be? Can we generate the capital to realize the dreams of Valley High, or Franklin, Del Paso, Northgate, and Stockton Boulevards? Do we use our employment incentive dollars to recruit more Fortune 100 companies? Or do we use the limited resources to train more young people for those new economy jobs? When we think about going to the ballot, do we choose to fund transportation, transit, or housing? These shouldn't be separate choices. On the private side, our equity gap made the headlines just last month. We have everything going for us to become a Major League Soccer city, a great stadium plan, and a solid market with the best fans in the nation. I am still confident we will get a Major League Soccer team in Sacramento. Our challenge, however, is clear. We currently do not have enough private wealth to make our selection the no-brainer it should be. Governing, I recognize, as with life, requires choices, but great cities have the public and private means to choose to do more than one big thing at a time. And so after 1 year as your mayor, I feel even stronger now than a year ago about what it is going to take to succeed. We must grow Sacramento. But not necessarily in the traditional way Sacramento has defined growth. It might seem strange to hear a proud liberal like me proselytizing about the virtues of growth. But growth is no longer just about land use and development. It's about high-wage jobs, innovation, technology, autonomous vehicles, clean industry, the arts and entertainment, workforce, education, and connecting all of that back into our neighborhoods and into opportunities for our kids. Committing ourselves to inclusive growth, to building more community wealth, is the only way I know to achieve more for our city and to help solve our most stubborn problems. We must not squander the momentum of the past few years so that our city's progress can, for once, begin to match the incredible well of compassion, of creativity, dreams, and the abilities of our people. Think about it. What if Sacramento found a way to bottle our palpable excitement about our city and combined it with our talent and will to set a faster pace, to create a new foundation of capital for inclusive growth? I have a big idea. It is not a magic button, but it has the potential to multiply real opportunity for our city and our people. And every big agenda needs a spark. I propose that we work together to establish a multi-billion-dollar equity capital fund for our capital city. And what do I mean? An equity capital fund is a significant pot of resources, not for annual operating costs of the city, but instead to invest in capital, in infrastructure, in affordable housing, in arts and culture facilities, one-time funds to attract and retain key industries, and any other one-time expenditures that will grow our jobs base and help our neighborhoods. Such a fund could also serve to provide ongoing funding for career education and workforce training. There are many ways to consider filling the public portion of an equity capital fund. The city could leverage its vacant land to create the capital for more smart investments. You know, it surprised me to find that the city and its agencies own over 100 vacant parcels, totaling over 4.5 million square feet, without a strategic plan to maximize its value. San Diego has worked to establish a land trust. There's another great example of this in Seattle. Both are seeking to utilize vacant land to help finance the costs of more affordable housing. Why can't we do the same? Kansas City, Oklahoma City, and Denver are among cities that have used sales tax to build infrastructure and capital to grow their economies. What about making our public investments local investments? Local money into local banks and credit unions. For what better way for our dollars to go to work for us than to invest them within our own community banks that in turn bolster the efforts of an equity capital fund? It's not just about the public sector. The political dialogue usually devolves into a debate about whether opportunity is better spurred by government or business. I know what is true about our city. We need much more of both. Whatever funding approach we find to take on the public side, every dollar raised should be matched by at least $2 of private investment. A $500 million equity capital fund should become a $1.5 billion public-private equity capital fund. $1 billion should become $3 billion. Leverage is the key to accomplishing more for our city without decades of dreams deferred. An equity capital fund could be a game changer for Sacramento. With more capital, we can direct and lead more of the change we want to see. We can say we will put up our resources if other jurisdictions, businesses, or community groups commit to doing the same to address our community's most pressing priorities. We can initiate more instead of hoping that someone else will have the capacity to lead. A hope and a prayer is not an economic strategy. It is critical to think about such a fund as only a catalyst for achieving a core set of essential principles for Sacramento's future. We must increase the rate of economic growth in our city. The growth must be inclusive so that every neighborhood and family experiences its benefits. We must act as if it's virtually impossible to overinvest in our youth. We must be disciplined to invest our public resources strategically to make large and sustained impacts and change the trajectory of our economic future. We must aim for the extraordinary. For when we do, we achieve. From our early history of the Industrial Railroad to opening the world's most technologically advanced Golden One Center, we've overcome the naysayers, the obstacles, and the inertia to achieve extraordinary things. What is extraordinary? It's the ability to accomplish more for people than we can currently imagine. Extraordinary. Imagine a dynamic riverfront and rail yards largely completed in 5 to 7 years instead of 20 to 30 years. Imagine a city that combines robust job growth, higher wages, and a workforce housing boom that ends the housing crisis. Imagine being the autonomous vehicle capital of the country, or imagine having gone after the second Amazon headquarters with even more confidence. Thank you. One person clapped. That's good. Imagine a more consistent and reliable tax base to fund public safety and other essential services. Imagine becoming a model city for combating climate change by strengthening Sacramento's position as a hub for clean technologies. Imagine the ability to triple the number of homeless triage shelters and the ability to easily finance not 1, but 2,000 units for the homeless and those living too close to the edge. We must do this. Imagine partnering with our school districts to make arts and music for students a core education commitment, not a luxury. Imagine over the next 2 years taking this idea of a collaborative effort between UC Davis, Sacramento State, and the University of Pacific, and our city, and creating 3 innovation centers in 3 distinct Sacramento neighborhoods. The power of our universities and our city, engaging in imaginative, innovative, and powerful ideas that catalyze new businesses and jobs for our residents. Imagine the ability to create real workforce training for our kids in every neighborhood. No more dreams deferred and no one left behind. The great American social activist and philosopher Grace Lee Boggs aptly said it. We urgently need to bring our communities the limitless capacity to love, serve, and create for and with each other. We urgently need to bring the neighbor back into our neighborhoods. It is all possible. We have the will. We have the hunger. We have the impatience. We have that rare combination of civic and political skill geared towards growth, social justice, and equity. Last week, I spent a fantastic day and a half with 4 national experts and 24 local community leaders working on significant ideas to grow our local economy. Over the next 45 days, we will hold 4 large interactive public workshops throughout the city. And we will crowdsource the conversation so that thousands of Sacramentans can participate in person and online with their best experiences and ideas. I expect that by the end of the first half of this year, my colleagues and I will bring forward a focused and specific set of proposals for elevating our city's renaissance. Many people who saw Lady Bird, many more than one time, described Greta Gerwig's beautiful film as a love letter to Sacramento. Don't we all feel the same about our city? Some of it is an intangible feeling that this is a city that draws people in, that it's easy to get involved, that it welcomes those who are different, and that you can make your mark here. That special, intangible feeling comes from our people. It's what's in our hearts. So if Sacramento is that special to all of us gathered here today, don't we in turn have a special responsibility to expand that magic to as many people as possible? I cannot think of anything more important than doing everything in our power to assure that every Sacramentan can say with confidence, I have a chance to do good, great, and extraordinary things in my city. Mark Twain said in his time, 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things that you didn't do than by the ones you did do. So throw off the bowlines, sail away from safe harbor, catch the trade winds in your sails, explore, dream, discover. It's time we in this city let go of our safe harbor and put in a little extra, because anything less is just ordinary. Extraordinary, nothing less. Let's get to it. Thank you all very much. Appreciate it.